Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. And today we are back with another discussion video. This time around, I want to talk about Sleep Token's newest project that they're working on. And why I prefer it over Take Me Back to Eden. I feel like this is something I wanted to talk about because we reviewed their last album, and it wasn't my album of the year that year. There were so many albums that dropped that year, and I go back and forth on Take Me Back to Eden, and I don't know what it is. Like there's a lot of different factors. I know like song length was one thing I criticized on the album. I don't like super long songs. I know Take Me Back to Eden, that specific song was like 8 minutes. And I don't know. I liked a lot of the songs. There was I don't think I liked. I think I said this in the review, but I didn't like a lot of these screamy songs. I like heavy music. Don't get me wrong, but like I think those songs like were the only ones I didn't like. The ones that had just straight screaming or like I don't know. That my issue with Taking Me Back to Eden is like it's a mix of things, but I like a lot of the songs that were on the album. And I kept going back and forth on whether or not it was album of the year for me, whether it was on that list, and it wasn't. And that's kind of the conclusion I've come to is like, yeah, listening to it through all the way. I can't even finish the album in like my car when I have the CD, or when I had the CD. But yeah, dude, that I don't know what it was with the album. I don't know, and I really want to talk about their newest project because I've loved the two singles that have come out so far. We'll kind of just dive into it here, but starting just with Emergence, I really like the rap flows in this song. Like, I think that's one thing, but if we take away like the song itself, the lyrics, the sound, the biggest thing I like about this album, the medieval theme. There is a huge medieval theme to this album, and I don't think there's been an album where there's been medieval themes and I really like the music, or I haven't really been paying attention to an album that's been straight medieval. I think like Skillet, I know it's a weird like, whoa, you just kind of went out of bounds there to a different band, but Skillet has done medieval, not straight up medieval like but they've had medieval themes to their, I think, last few albums, where like they were like holding a shield. I think one of them was on a throne. There's been a few little instances where like I see medieval themes there, but the music isn't for me. And I don't know what it is, but like when Emergence came out, I looked at just the visualizer. The visualizer is what got me, kind of what hooked me on this, and I started to enjoy the music. And maybe would Take Me Back to Eden, the visuals kind of turned me off of the album. I don't know. I don't think that's it. It could be a factor. I have no idea. But with this project so far, the fact of like just seeing the banner burning, and I never thought, I think that's the one thing I've been missing in like medieval themes is not seeing like I don't know. I love medieval stuff, and I never thought to myself what else is in what else was in medieval times or could have been house banners, and seeing it burn just like is a wild thing. And also the logo on the banner is super cool, and like it like prompted me to go over like Amazon and look up how do I make my own house banner. That's something I want to do, and I was trying to look for like something like this, but yeah. So with Emergence, I don't think it's my, I don't know if it's my favorite single off of this album so far. I think Caramel probably takes the cake, but it's a really good first single from this project, even in Arcadia. But just jumping from this to the next single, because again, I did love the first single, but I want to talk about this one. Again, the imagery, man. It's the visuals here for like the it's still like a medieval setting too when you look at it. Just like it's like a royal hall, you know? It looks crazy. And still the house banner's there. That is probably the one thing that is pulling me into this album is the theme change or like the visuals. It's just it makes me want to listen to the album in full and give it a chance. Just talking about Caramel in just a quick little like I can't remember. I think there is rapping in Caramel, kind of. I know people have been saying like reggae is a big thing in Caramel, but I think Caramel is my favorite single out of all of them. So far, out of like the two that we've heard so far, Caramel is my favorite, but only because of the lyrics. Because like the lyrics are really hitting in this one, for sure. Because like I know Vessel, he addresses the people that have been trying to dox him in the band, which is, I mean, dude, respect people's privacy. I feel like people don't people, you know, with the internet and such, people forget like there are boundaries, and because the internet exists, they think, oh, those boundaries don't exist anymore, but they still do. It's a wild thing, man, that he has to address this in a song. But yeah, I don't know, like this album might be like, it might make it onto my album of the year, because so far I only have one album that is album of the year right now, and this one might be up there. It depends on how the rest of the album sounds, though. I do like the medieval themes. It's like, you know, it's I don't know what it's like a, I don't know what the term is. It's like a double-edged sword or whatever. Because I wanna talk about the album for a second, because we're just gonna go into it real quick, because the album, the track listing got revealed. Okay, how do I hold on? How do I hide this? Oh, there we go. Okay. So it comes out May 9th, which is pretty close, but the track listing got revealed, and you know, it's funny, Emergence, it's 6 minutes. It does feel like 6 minutes, but it goes by pretty quick. Now, I mentioned in in my review of Take Me Back to Eden, obviously the long songs are kind of like not for, I don't know. I don't like long songs, but how many are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the album's 10 songs. So 5 out of the 10 songs are long, and song length. The shortest song here is 3 minutes. I might look past the length, because if, like, I don't know, if the album itself, if all the songs are really good and I like the visuals still, I think I'll probably throw this on my album of the year, because it'll be up there. I don't know if they're doing CDs. That's again, that's another thing for like album of the years. Like, album has to be good. And most importantly, like, I need to have a CD of this record. I'm pretty sure they'll sell CDs for this. If they don't, that's really stupid, and like, I might have to. It'll probably come to a point where I'm gonna have to stop doing the whole CD thing and be like, oh well, I guess everything's digital now, which is crazy. They are selling vinyls of this album, so I'm assuming they'll do CDs. If they don't, I feel like they miss out on a huge part of the market. But again, I might have to stop doing CDs and then say screw it, and we'll only do playlists. But then I have to probably relook at my albums of the year, because that would mean any album that hasn't had a CD, I'll have to consider it for an album of the year. So that's that, and that's kind of crazy because I don't want to do that. I feel like the CDs are a special little thing. They're important, you know? But yeah, so this is interesting. And the title is Look to Windward. Past Self, I think, will be an interesting one because I'm not too... I've heard every, I think, Sleep Token song so far. I'm not too familiar with the lore. Not really, anyway. I watch Riker Road, and they do kind of... They've been doing this lyric deep dive thing, and it's kind of cool to listen to that because I get a little bit more insight into the lore, but I'm not too familiar with the lore myself, but I know for the most part, Sleep Token and the story of everything is all about like basically toxic relationship and almost abusive relationship, I think. But again, I could be wrong, but that's what I've gathered so far just from like seeing their reactions and their lyric breakdowns to Sleep Token. It helps a lot. But there's also like Dangerous. That's an interesting title. Even Arcadia, the title track. Provider. And then I don't know about these other three or Look to Windward. Those are kind of like, I don't know. Those songs could be anything. Like, those are the songs you'll be like, what is this about? Because you could guess like Provider, Dangerous, Past Self. Like, I don't know if that's all like, this is probably self-reflection. Dangerous and Provider, don't know. But yeah, I can't wait to listen to this album when it comes out in 20 days. So that's what, about 3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks, 7, 14, 21, yeah. Less than 3 weeks. So we're almost there, but I just wanted to talk about this because this album, I think I will like more than Take Me Back to Eden, because with Take Me Back to Eden, I keep going back and forth on it. Like, I don't know. I go back and forth on it because I don't know if I like it or I dislike it. I think I'm kind of in the middle with it, but like, I like half of the songs on it, and some of the other songs I don't really like. But yeah, and I feel like with this album, I'm gonna feel different about it, just because of the visuals, the themes. There's a lot I like about this album so far, even though only 2 singles have dropped. But we'll see how this turns out. Chances are, if I don't like the album, and you know, Sleep Token isn't just for me, I'll probably do an album review on this and just say what my thoughts were. But if it does make my album of the year, you will see a video at the end of the year going over all my albums of the year, including this one possibly. So yeah, looking forward to when the album drops. But anywho, that's going to be the video for today. But thank you guys for watching. If you did, as always, I appreciate it a ton. I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, goodbye.